Oh, hey guys! Hey guys! It's almost Friday. I was about to say it's Friday, but it's not. Almost Friday. It's almost Friday. How's everybody doing? How's everyone doing? Guys, I have just the best topic, absolute best topic today. Uh, do I take K1 visas? Not at the moment. To the time I used to take those cases, but not right now. And today I've just got this great topic, y'all. We are discussing. We're basically today just discussing frequently asked questions, and these are questions that I can't get tired of answering them because they will just always be there. There's always someone who doesn't know these things, and so I'm still getting asked these questions again. Still at our consultations, we get asked these questions over and over again, and so that's what we are doing today. That is absolutely what we are doing today. So people are saying you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys, on Instagram? If you can hear me, let me know. Please let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, guys? All right. Yes, awesome. Because I've got these earpieces, so I was hoping that you could hear me. Okay, so back to the topics now. Today, y'all, we're talking about frequently asked questions. Frequently asked questions, and number one on that list is, uh, you know, with this new 5-year work permits. I don't know if you're familiar with immigration. You know that right now they're starting to issue out 5-year work permits. That's like the best innovation ever. I wish it was always like this. But so right now, immigration is actually issuing 5-year work permits for 5 years. So people are starting to ask me, so then does that mean that that's how long VAW is going to take? That's absolutely not true. So don't let that scare you. Okay. So it has nothing to do with how long the actual VAW process is going to take. All right. It's definitely not going to take 5 years. And if it does, something is wrong, or you need to contact them. All right. I think last time I came here, it was actually a few days ago, was Monday, and someone came and told me that they had a case that was pending since 2017 or 2019, and it was a VAW case. So if you have that kind of case, something is definitely wrong. You definitely need to contact your congressman and see what happens or what's going on. I mean, because it definitely shouldn't be taking that long. Definitely not 2017, 2019, and still to this day it's not approved. You probably want to contact them. They probably have forgotten your file or something. Something has gone wrong. So that's the number one question. So yes, so to answer your question, if you have a 5-year work permit, that does not mean that's how long your adjustment of status case is going to take. That does not mean that's how long now your VAW case is going to take. Second question I always get is, okay, so when I was coming, Wafula, on my DS-260, I stated that I was married. This happens with Africans, Caribbeans, all sorts of people. I stated on the application, on the immigration application when I was coming into the US, I stated that I was married when I wasn't. And the reason I did that is because married people typically have an easier time of getting a visa to come to the US. So if you're listening to me and you did something like that, and that's you, I'm just here to tell you that there is hope. What you need to do is get a certificate of no legal impediment. That's what it's called in Kenya and a lot of different places. In Nigeria, it's called a certificate of bachelorhood. Okay, you need to get a certificate basically that states that your officials in your country did a name check, did a record check on your name, and determined that according to the laws in that country, in that state, you have never been married to anyone else there. And therefore, you have the legal right to marry someone else. Okay. So, again, this tip is for those people who, when they came in initially into the US, like before you ever came to America, your first immigration application, you applied for to get, your tourist visa or whatever visa you came in with, actually stated that you were married when you weren't. So this tip is for those people. So if you had that issue, it's nothing to panic about. It's a very easy fix, actually. What you need to do is go and to the ministry that handles marriages in your country, approach them or have your family member approach them, let them do a search on your name. And once they search your name, now let them write out a certificate that states we have researched Elizabeth Wafula. Let's say if your name is, we have researched Elizabeth Wafula's name, and we have found, according to the laws in our country, there is no legal impediment to her marrying someone else. In other words, what that says is that legally speaking, you're not married to anyone else. Okay, so this is the fix for those people who when they were first coming in, you put in on your immigration application that you were married when you really weren't. It's an easy fix. What you need is a certificate of no legal impediment. If you're Kenyan, if you're Nigerian, it's called a certificate of bachelorhood. And I think even in Jamaica, it's a certificate of no legal impediment. That's what you need, okay? You just need a certificate from the appropriate ministry stating that you were never legally married to someone else. And therefore, when now you come into the US, you have the right now to marry someone else. So important. And I hope you guys are sharing this right now. Share this video right now, guys, before we get any further, because I'm going to be sharing great tips. Share with your frenemy. Share this video right now, please, before we go any further, because I'll definitely be sharing lots and lots of nuggets, lots and lots of good information. Third question I always get asked. Okay, so Wafula, when I was in Nigeria or Kenya, I was traditionally married. So we never had a legal marriage, but it was just a traditional marriage. In Kenya, we call that a come we stay. So I was in a come we stay marriage. So do I need a legal divorce certificate then for that kind of marriage? And the answer is no. If it was never a legal marriage, then you don't need an actual legal divorce certificate. All right. Again, rewind that. Let me go back. If you were never legally married in your city or state, then you don't need a divorce certificate because it wasn't a legal marriage. All right. You may want to actually state that you are married, right? But it was a traditional marriage or something like that. But you don't actually have to provide a divorce certificate if it was just a traditional marriage. It was just a come we stay marriage, as we call it in Kenya. So then in that case, then you don't need a divorce certificate, all right? So I'm answering frequently asked questions as we go. So this question number 3 I'm on. Question number 3 is, I was not legally married in my country. Do I need to have now a proper divorce certificate? The answer is no. Then the fourth question now, we're getting deeper and deeper. Now, what if I was legally married in my country and I have a divorce certificate, which I've now found out wasn't properly done? That's sort of like one of the hardest situations you want to find yourselves in, right? And this leads me to my answer. The best scenario, if you've ever been legally married, if you are legally, like literally went to a courthouse or had some sort of legal process to become husband and wife with someone back home in Kenya, in Nigeria, in Jamaica, if you are legally married, all right, then I was advised that the best process, the best way to get a divorce is here in the US. And the reason is because in Nigeria right now, there's a big marriage fraud issue going on. I mean, like, let me put it this way. There's a big issue going on with getting proper documents. Like all sorts of documents are being falsified, including and most importantly divorce certificates. So if you are married back home in Kenya, in Nigeria, and especially Nigeria, if you are Nigerian, you're listening to me and you know you are legally married in Nigeria and you have not yet divorced, my advice is get a proper divorce from here, because sometimes when you get a divorce certificate from especially Nigeria, it's kind of hard to state or to show that this is valid. Sometimes those documents will have all sorts of issues. Sometimes it has the wrong suite number. Sometimes it's got the wrong docket number. I mean, I'm just seeing all sorts of issues like that. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Sorry. Let me hang up here. So I'm just saying all sorts of problems with those divorce certificates. You'll see a divorce certificate that's got the wrong docket number, wrong suite number, that's been signed by the wrong person, signed by somebody that doesn't even belong in a courthouse. So all sorts of issues are going bad with Nigerian divorce certificate. So if you have a choice, definitely get one from here. Now, if you already divorced, you've already gone through it, you've already gotten a divorce certificate from Nigeria, then what you want to take from this conversation is you definitely need to have somebody check that divorce certificate, make sure it's valid before you submit it to USCIS and before you get married. Okay, so before you get married again or remarried now to a U.S. citizen spouse, you definitely want to have somebody check that divorce certificate, make sure, is it really valid? Like, does it have a proper docket number? Does it have a proper suite number? Was it signed by the court or a court representative? Was it signed by someone who by law can sign a divorce certificate, or was it just signed by any old person? These are things you definitely want to check before you submit that divorce certificate to USCIS, okay? So that's frequently asked question number 4 is, what do I do now if I've already gotten a divorce certificate and I need to know if it's valid? Find a good lawyer in Nigeria, have them check it, and see if there's anything that can be done to rectify the situation, okay? Because sometimes maybe it was just recorded wrongly, and you can get now a lawyer to show that it was recorded wrongly, but the actual divorce itself was valid. You know, this is some things you may want to think about and want to look into preferably before you marry a U.S. citizen spouse, and preferably before you submit it to USCIS. Even after you've already submitted to USCIS and they haven't said anything to you yet, and you're listening to me, it's not too late. It's not too late to begin to call me. Let's talk about it. It's not too late to call a lawyer in Nigeria to check that divorce certificate. Definitely not too late. Last and most important, frequently asked question is, people are always asking me, okay, so is it possible? Is this thing really true? Are they really waiving interviews? Absolutely, they really are. And then, of course, people then will ask me, okay, so is mine going to be waived? I absolutely don't know that. I have no way of knowing if yours is going to be waived. If it was done, if your case was done properly, and immigration has everything they need to make a decision, if they have no questions in their mind, it's absolutely true, which is why you either always want to use a lawyer, or make sure if you did it yourself or someone did it for you, make sure they did everything properly. They've given immigration all the evidence. They've proved the legal burden they need to prove. Because if that's so, then yeah, it's very possible for you to get a green card without interviews. I've told you we've gotten the most amount of green cards this year. True story of my life, and I'm so grateful to God. And that's because, honestly, a lot of our application packets, we make sure they have they've met the proper legal standard. We file the proper forms. We make sure we put in a legal argument in there. We make sure we put a really detailed statement explaining why the person qualifies for VAWA. And we make sure we put in as much evidence as possible. When you do all of that, it really does put you in a position where you could absolutely get your green card approved with no interview. All right. Now let me start taking questions. So guys, share. I've shared so many nuggets on this video, on this live. I want you to share, and I'm starting to take questions now. Taking live questions now. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? It's 4:40, so at 4:50 I will be going off. So like I always do, I'll let you know what time exactly I'll be leaving. So right now it's 4:40, and exactly 4:50 I will now leave. So starting to take the questions now. Is a VAWA advocate the same as a lawyer? I'm not sure. Some people call themselves advocates, but what you want to basically check is, do they have did they graduate from law school? Do they have a certificate, a law license? Do they have a law license, number one? I mean, is it posted on their office when you go visit them? And number two, did they take the bar exam? I think those are the things you want to look for, because people these days, all sorts of people these days call themselves advocates when they're not. So what you want to look for is does the person actually have a law license? And if they have a law license, I mean, did they pass the bar exam? And then also, of course, look at the experience. Look at the people they've helped before. No, we don't only do VAWA cases, madam. We do at least 3 other types of cases. We do adjustment of status to marriage, which is the opposite of VAWA. So these are cases, these are the types of cases that we do for people who are in a good marriage. And while I'm on that topic, actually one of the frequently asked questions list about vow is, can I qualify if I got a divorce? Yes, you can. Can I qualify for vow if I got an annulment? Which means an annulment is when when the state comes to the conclusion that the marriage never really existed in the first place. Absolutely, you can qualify for vow even upon annulment, even upon divorce. Whether you're separated, married, divorced, doesn't really matter for a vow. What matters is that you experienced problems in the marriage and that it was intentional on the part of your spouse. That's what matters. Okay. So if you're married, separated, annulled, doesn't really matter for vow. You still qualify. All right. Okay. Even if you're still in the same household with your person, you can still qualify for vow. As long as you actually experience what you said you experienced, it's valid. As long as you enter the marriage for valid reasons and you experience problems or toxicity or abuse in the marriage and it was intentional on the part of your spouse. If these three things are there and you can prove it, you've got a good vow case. Whether you're divorced, separated, married, or annulled, it doesn't really matter. And even in some states, you don't even have to be legally married to qualify for vow. In some states, if you have a partner who's abusive, who's a U.S. citizen, and you guys live like your man and wife, or you live like husband and husband or wife and wife in 2023, then you could qualify. So these are states like Texas, Alabama, New Hampshire. These are states that recognize what's called a common law marriage, which is just a marriage that's recognizable only by deed. That's a marriage that's recognizable only by what people see you as. When people look at you, they think you and him are married. Okay. Hello. Good evening. How are you doing? Okay. Interview. Sorry, madam. So what's your question now? What was said at the interview? You said they got to interview. That's the part I'm stuck on. Did they say anything about it? Okay. Okay. So I think she could try to get like a statement from someone else who's close to the person. It could be like their parent, somebody like their child, or someone who even maybe if they had an adult child who's living with them in that previous marriage. Yeah, to kind of to kind of undo what the other person what the previous spouse said about her. I think that may be probably our best solution. Uh, okay, ma'am, is this not something definitely we can discuss on conversation? I'd need to talk to her to see if there's anything else we can do for her. Thank you, madam. Bye bye. All right. I'm gonna take off my earphones, y'all. Tell me if you can hear me. Can you hear me? If you can't hear me, let me know. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Let me check these next requests. We're gonna take this next two. If you're watching me on Facebook or on YouTube, you could definitely join me live on Instagram. Hello.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing today?
Good, and you?
Hey, I'm doing well. I got my fiance. We have stuck. I can't move forward. So I don't know if I explain you the situation, if you can help me out. After like years, she went to the interview, and then they owed her passport, also the visa and everything. They asked us for a supporting document. We sent everything to them. After a year, they sent us a letter. They don't find any evidence. She and I, we have been together. And the craziest thing, we have son together.
So you mean your fiance? Are you married, or is it just your fiance?
Fiance.
Oh, so this is like a fiance visa?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't do those cases anymore. But with fiance visa, that's the only thing about them is that they're not guaranteed. Sometimes even when you put in all the evidence, and also I think because of that show that became popular, Fiance, what's that, 90 Day Fiance? I think that show may have brought down the image that USCIS has of immigrant fiancés. It could just be literally something like that. So in other words, what I'm saying is for a fiance visa, it's up to the officer that's reviewing your case to approve it. So even if you have all the evidence available, they just have 100% discretion to deny if they want to. So the only thing to do is to reapply.
All right, and then
or have her come and get married. You get married there, and then she files an immigrant visa for you.
How she can get the visa to come here?
What do you mean? She's American, right?
No, I'm the person. I'm the American. She's in Haiti.
Oh, okay. So you would have to go physically there, get married, and then file.
Okay, so I have another question. She's married before, but you know how the country
you get one question, works. Sir. You want to schedule a consultation, sir? Schedule a consultation. I've answered 2 of your questions.
Okay. Okay. So no problem. You want me to call you, or
yeah, you can schedule a consultation. I think you need a consultation anyway.
That would be wonderful. So, and then I can call you at this number after the live is finished, or call you tomorrow.
You can call even now. Someone is always answering the phone.
Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, madam, how can I help you?
Hello. Yeah, so good afternoon. So I have consulted you before. I came with a J1 visa, and my J1 visa has this section 212 thingy. And yeah, I did reach out to my home country's embassy, and they did issue that waiver for me.
Good.
The no objection. Yeah, I got it.
Good.
I got the no objection waiver, but it's not here with me.
Okay.
I just got the news last week, and it's gonna get mailed to me, and the other one mailed to the waiver department.
Okay. How long did it take you to get that waiver?
Well, it took a while. I have been on it since February.
Dang.
Yeah, since February. Oof.
Welcome to all things immigration. Immigration is just something that requires patience.
It took a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
They even told me it was ready. Just to put it in the mail is a problem. But I don't know. But as long as
you can tell them to even scan you a nice copy. They can even send you a scanned copy. That's enough for you to use even. And you can they can take their time mailing the actual copy. But anyway, your question is?
Yeah, so this question might actually be a question that I would need a consultation for, but I just said to ask, so I don't second guess. Because I might not know, you might just answer my question. So I have a daughter in my own country that I would like to also put in my application.
Okay.
And
By the way, who's filing your vow case? Is it us?
It's you.
If
I
it's
already
not
considered
me,
you. You were the one that told me to go get
if
the
it's
waiver.
not me, I might minus my advice right now. Minus. I'm joking.
Come on.
Okay, what's your question?
So you told me to go get the because I was ready the other time and you were like, oh, that you were not doing the waiver thing. I should go get it and
Right.
get back to you. Yeah, so I did get. But my
Okay.
question is,
Can you
I
add
know
your
you
son?
might tell me to
Yes.
consult, but my question is, like, what kind of documents would I need to put my daughter in my home country in my application? Like, what
In
kind
the
of
beginning,
documents would I
honestly,
need?
not much. In the beginning, we'll just file one form to let them know that you will be petitioning for her once your vow is approved. So it's after your vow is approved that they will start asking you for things like, things like passport pictures of her, things like a copy of a passport, a copy of a birth certificate, things like that.
Oh, so like I don't get to, like, she doesn't get to come to me until it's approved.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah. And the only other way is if you could find a way to bring her here, if she's already here, like on a tourist visa or some other visa, then she could be directly added on your application. In other words, the day you would get your 10-year green card through VAWA, she would get her 10-year green card through VAWA. But that only happens if she's physically here in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
But if she's not, she's still going to come, in other words, but it's just going to be a 2-part process. And it's going to take longer, yeah. But all these things also depend on your country, where you're.
That's bad. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
How old is your daughter?
She's 11.
And she doesn't already have a tourist visa or something like that?
No.
Okay. May have to do it like we just talked about.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. All right. And cheer up. It's not the worst thing to hear, okay? She's gonna come.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, I could just feel her sadness. All righty. So guys, remember I said I'm leaving at 4. I'm supposed to have left already. It's 4:54. So 5 more minutes. 5 o'clock. Hello. How are you doing? Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing, sir?
My question is, can U.S. citizens file for their spouse if they are collecting medical assistance?
Yeah. If the person is a U.S. citizen, they're entitled to it. No problem.
So they can file for their spouse even if they are collecting medical
That's
assistance?
not a problem. Yes, they are U.S. citizen. They're entitled to that, sir.
Okay, no problem. And can also a U.S. citizen file for their spouse with a green card? Or
would you mind we talk the rest in a conversation?
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All righty. Do I have people in Canada? I mean, I have people everywhere. Hello? 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 Let me see if I'm missing some questions. Hello? Hello? Let me see if I'm missing these questions. How long it takes to Hello? People, if you come live, make sure you know that you're coming live or be aware. Don't have me come in live and then it's like silence. And I'm like waiting on you to come in and talk. All right. All right. Try this person one more time. Yeah, someone asked me, can I just book a consultation alone and then take it further? Absolutely, yes. You can always book just a consultation. If you just need a consultation, that's all you need. You just want to find out more information or you want to talk something out in a consultation. Yes, that's actually my preferred method is for you to schedule a consultation. But sometimes it's people who just want to ask the question right then and there, which is why I started to do these live questions. And actually, I think to be honest, there was one day I was just doing lives. Was it about plus a year plus ago? And people kept requesting to come live, and I'm like, dang, why are they requesting to come live? And so that day I did lives. It was so hectic. It was just all over the place. Everybody was trying to ask questions, but from there on, I realized, okay, I think some people really just want to ask their questions right then and there. Don't want to wait for consultation. So this is why I do this. Okay. So someone says, am I only attending to those who are married? No, ma'am. We also do asylum cases. These are for people who have fled their home country because of civil unrest. So the whole Gaza Strip, anyone in the Gaza Strip can faithfully and properly file for a good asylum case and probably win. Okay, so we do that as well. All right. All right. Now I'm going to take these last two questions. I'll summarize and then we're going to go home. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi. My question is, can a green card holder file for a spouse, or should they do citizenship first and then file?
Yeah, a green card holder can file for a spouse, but right now the processing times for a green card holder have retrogressed. So in other words, it's going to take longer now for a green card holder to file for a spouse.
Okay, so it would be faster.
So it would be better if they're a U.S. citizen. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you, madam. Okay. I like this question. Someone came here, I guess, on a fiancé visit. But, sir, madam, I'm going to have you come. Do you want to come and ask your question live? I think it'd be much better. But just quickly, I just want to hit this question. As generally speaking, I'm probably not going to answer your question directly, but generally speaking, if you come here on a fiancé visa, you're supposed to marry the person you came here to marry. If it doesn't go wrong, vow is usually your best bet. So the laws are very, very strict for a fiancé visa. If you come here on a fiancé visa and then you marry someone else, it may be quite hard for you to get your adjustment of status and get a green card through somebody else. Okay. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm one of your clients, but along the line, somebody. Yeah, sorry, my name is Dimitra Boy. So a friend of mine that is a lawyer told me something, but I wasn't really sure about it. He said, like when you have a marriage and the marriage doesn't work and everything, and you file for green card, and it's been there for like 3 years or 4 years, and eventually there's an abuse and everything. So you're out of the marriage and you're filing for vow. He said even if they withdraw the vow and the marriage application, that if you I don't know what it's called, the one you apply for green card. You have like 4 different applications for marriage.
The I-45.
Yeah. He said you're not supposed to withdraw that one. You can just file the others during the hour and just like proceed with
and keep the original 485.
Yeah.
I prefer not to do that. I prefer not to do that at all.
Okay.
And there's a couple of reasons why. For instance, in other words, you're telling them that you're giving them the right to look back onto the other case because you're using a form that you filed on the other case, number one. It's one reason why I don't like doing that. And secondly, it's better to file things afresh together so that you have them together. It's just how I've come to understand it. Like it works better, more efficiently when you just do a whole fresh everything. New 485, new I-360, everything together properly. So I'm not sure what your lawyer friend is, but I don't know if they specialize in vow. Because if they don't specialize in vow, what they're telling you is 0. Give them 0 marks. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to learn anyway, so it's okay. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Ah. Okay. All right. Last two questions. Hello.
Hello, good evening, ma.
Good evening.
I want to ask, is it only marriage cases you do or
No.
any case?
No, we do a lot of other cases. We do asylum. We do VAW.
Okay,
We do adjustment of status.
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, if it's something I know, sure.
It's about the student. If you come as a visitor, can you go to school here?
If you come as a visitor, can you go to school here?
Yes.
I think that would depend on your that'll depend on your school. I know there's some rules before they can issue you an I-20. Okay. So, but I think most schools, first of all, you need to show that you can pay your full tuition before they can issue you an I-20, and they may have some other rules. But
Okay.
I know community colleges are less strict. So community college, I'm pretty sure you can go to school like in a community college.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Do you do the case to file for? How do I get about it? Can I do it myself?
I-20 student visa? No, I don't do those.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. But if you ever get married or something, you have some other way, then give us a call.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, somebody answered your question exactly like what I said. You can, but you have to. This is the answer to this question. You can, but you have to meet all the requirements of an international student. All right. Let's see. How long does VAW take to be processed? How long does VAW take to be approved? If I tell you, I have to kill you. I'm just joking. I only discuss it in a consultation, okay? Anything about processing times, some very specific questions like that, for good reason and for liability reasons, I always discuss that only in a consultation, okay? Can you file for asylum after 5 years? I've done it. Yes, I've done it with one, actually. If you do something like that, if you're here more than 5 years, remember for asylum, you're supposed to file within a year of entering. So if it's like your 5th year and you're filing for asylum, you definitely need a lawyer that knows what they're doing to win. Because first of all, they're going to have to show why, in fact, in the first place, you're so late filing this asylum application, right? They're going to have to overcome that. And you really, really, really need a good lawyer to do that. So the answer is yes, very possible, but definitely need a lawyer who knows what they're doing. And definitely we do those cases, and I can help you if you'd like. Give me a call, all right? I'll see if I can help you file that asylum application. And I'll let you know even before we file if I think it's winnable. I really will let you know. If I even think it's winnable, I'll let you know. If I think it's a losing case or our percentage of winning, I'll let you know that as well. Hello.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good.
You were mentioning something earlier to a client related to the time processing of new green card filer in terms of marriage and compared to the time of flower application.
No, I think I was talking about work permits. The 5-year work permits. I was talking about the 5-year work permits they're issuing right now.
Oh, can you talk a little bit about that? Because the call is kind of
okay. There was a question. Someone said I was asking frequently asked questions. People always want to know.
Your voice is going away.
Sorry, madam. Let me see if I can take this.
I think it would be better if I hang up and I listen to you. Yeah, me too. Because I'm not hearing you clearly as well.
Okay, I'll bring the other lady back.
Okay.
So it was just a frequently asked questions list. It was stating that basically, like, okay, So with immigration now giving 5-year work permits, is that how long VAWA is going to take, or adjustment of status to marriage is going to take? And I said, no, absolutely not. This new policy only came in because of the backlog that immigration is experiencing, and because they're getting tired of doing like renewals. So they just decided to now extend it to 5 years. Okay, so can you hear me?
Your voice is
Can
coming.
you hear me? Okay, let me take you out.
Yeah, you can hang up the thing.
Oh God, I gotta repeat what I just said. Ma'am, I was just talking about a frequently asked questions list that I get even in consultations. People are asking me, so now that immigration is issuing people 5-year work permits, does that mean the whole VAWA process or the whole adjustment of status to marriage process, does that mean, in other words, that my whole case now is going to take 5 years? And I said, absolutely not. I said that was immigration just passed that to deal with the huge backlog that they have. And because they're tired of having to renew so many applications, it's better for them to they finally put their minds together and use their brains properly and decided now to issue out 5-year work permits. All right. So that was the answer to your question there. Let me take the last couple questions. Yes, you can always try to expedite any case. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, you already answered my 2 questions.
Okay. Let me take you out. Hello? 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 Okay, people don't know they came live. Okay, guys. 508. We're gonna end it here, guys. I shared lots and lots and lots of frequently asked questions. Let me just run through them again. Number 1 question: immigration issuing out 5-year work permits. Does that mean my VAWA case or my adjustment of status to marriage case is gonna take 5 years? No, absolutely not. Should take much faster now. Second question. Let me see. How do I know if I'm properly divorced, especially if you're from a place like Nigeria? You need to hire a good lawyer, a reliable lawyer in Nigeria to check and find out for you. Check your docket number on your divorce certificate to make sure it's valid. Third, if I've already done the process and I found out that the divorce certificate wasn't valid, is all hope lost? No, there's some exceptions to that, and I can talk to you about that in a consultation. All hope is not lost, but definitely your chances are slim at that point, okay? And then 4th question is, okay, so, this wasn't really a question. I gave you the advice that, hey, if you're not already divorced and you're especially from Nigeria or even any other country, really, the best practice is to get a divorce here in the U.S. Get you a divorce here in the U.S. instead of trying to go back home and start trying to get a divorce certificate from your home country. Since you're already here, the divorce laws just state as long as one of you is here, then you can file for divorce here and get that divorce finalized, even if your spouse is back home in Nigeria. And this way you'll know you have a proper divorce certificate. Okay, frequently asked question number 4 is, I'm losing count with number 5 now, is Wafula on my DS-260. That's the application that I first filed to come to the U.S. I stated on that application that I was married when I was not. What does that mean for me? Does that mean all hope is lost? Absolutely not. And what can I do? So if you are in that kind of situation where you lied on a previous, or someone else, or maybe someone who filled out the application lied on that application on your behalf and stated that you are married back then to somebody else in your home country, just for the simple reason that, married people usually get a tourist visa easier than a single person. If you have that lie on your application, all you need to do is approach the ministry or department that handles marriages, have them do a record search on your name, issue what's called a certificate of no legal impediment in Kenya, or issue what's called a certificate of bachelorhood in Nigeria, issue what's called a certificate of no legal impediment, I think, in Jamaica. Let them just issue this certificate that says, we have searched for Elizabeth so-and-so's name on our records. Our records show that this person is not legally married to anybody else. And as such, she has the legal right now to marry someone else. Okay, so I'm just summarizing the frequently asked questions that I handled earlier. And then one of the other frequently asked questions list that I had that I discussed earlier is, okay, well, Fula, I'm divorced or I'm annulled. Annulment is different from divorce because that one, the state treats the marriage as if it never existed. So since I'm annulled, I mean, do I still qualify for VAWA? Since I'm divorced, do I still qualify for VAWA? Absolutely. As long as your annulment or your divorce was within 2 years of your divorce, you definitely still qualify for VAWA as long as you can prove this marriage was valid and that it was abusive or toxic and that it was your spouse's intention to do that to you. All right. As long as you can prove those 3 things, doesn't matter if you're annulled, divorced, separated, or even still married. And in some states like Alabama, Texas, New Hampshire, you could qualify for VAWA even without being married. Okay. Filed for a couple of these, for especially for some of my Texas clients, and they went through, y'all. It's a true thing. It's truly available to you if you're living with someone, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or something like that. But you guys are not married and you're living in a state like Texas, New Hampshire, Alabama, Colorado. In other words, you live together just as if you are married. You have children together. You have businesses together, but this person is toxic and they're U.S. citizen. You could file for VAWA even before you guys get legally married because Texas, Alabama, New Hampshire, Colorado, these states recognize what's called a common law marriage, or in other words, a marriage where you just start living together for a long time. You were never legally married, but your actions say you're married. So states like Alabama, New Hampshire, Colorado, if you're in a long-time partnership with someone, you have children together, businesses together, you live just as if you are a husband and wife, all right, then you could qualify for VAWA even without being legally married. Guys, that's a summary. If you have a question, you got to catch me next time. I've been here an hour already. So you got a question, you got to come early and catch me next time, all right? I try to come these days at least once a week. Catch me next time. Bye. Share. Don't be stingy, y'all. Don't share this good information that I just shared with you guys. Bye, guys. Okay, bye, guys.